there is going to be there needs to be an inquiry straight after this. Why? What? But that's what I'm hearing. This news is as fresh to me as it is you.
Then take his license away, because you have to send the right message out to the rest of the people that are out there that think they can actually get away with doing whatever it is he's done.
The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually...
Rumors exploded in the boxing world after that shocking first-round knockout. Was it really legitimate, or was the script already written before the fighters even stepped into the ring? Fans across the globe can't believe it. Dillian Whyte, a man who built his career on grit, toughness, and a warrior's refusal to fold...
It's not boxing. What it is, it's an event. It's like a misfit type of event. That's what it is, and everybody...
Under fire collapsed so quickly that many believed something foul was at play. Almost immediately, whispers spread ringside. Was this a true heavyweight clash, or stage theater under the bright lights? Duke McKenzie didn't mince his words. He blasted the Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte fight, declaring that any fighter involved in such a sham should never be allowed to step into the ring again. Then came the bombshell that turned...
If it was me, take his license away. You know, because you cannot cheat in the sport of boxing. Not if you're going to put on a...
Turned suspicion into outrage. A so-called fight script leaked on Twitter just moments after the bout ended. Fans were furious. The script, which detailed a first-round knockout, mirrored exactly what had happened inside the ring. To many, it wasn't just coincidence. They called it an absolute dog fix, a disgrace to heavyweight boxing, and one of the ugliest moments in the sport's recent memory. The controversy only intensified when Johnny Nelson reacted with pure fury.
Then I trust the boxing board when it comes to that kind of thing, because remember, if anything bad happened, they would be liable as well for letting this go ahead. So all these things have got to be taken into account.
The former world champion was both shocked and disgusted. To him, the Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte spectacle wasn't just a disappointing fight, it was an insult. With the script leak surfacing right after the bout, Nelson said the boxing world was being treated like fools, sold a storyline instead of a real fight. Fans had expected a war, a true test of...
Guys requested it, so everybody gets alerted at the same time. The story this morning broke, obviously, after people were aware of that situation.
Young talent against an aging but proud veteran. What they got instead, Nelson argued, looked like a dirty fix designed to deceive an audience that paid and tuned in for genuine combat. Eddie Hearn, as promoter, tried to play it cool in the aftermath, but his words only made the scandal grow louder. Instead of calming the storm, his attempt to downplay the controversy backfired. When he later admitted that legal teams and the boxing board were now involved and that an investigation was on the table.
Right now, obviously, the legal teams are speaking with the board. They have to be comfortable as well to obviously sanction the fight, and we'll see.
It told fans everything they needed to know. This wasn't a minor rumor. The fact that lawyers were now circling only deepened suspicions that something rotten had gone down. A leaked fight script surfacing right after a first-round knockout? For fans, it was too much. Many felt mugged off, swindled, and betrayed. What should have been a heavyweight test between Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte felt more like stage drama, a scripted performance under the lights. And when Hearn doubled down in public, insisting boxing was clean and that suspicions were baseless, the outrage only reached boiling point. Buddy McGirt, a respected trainer and voice of reason in the sport, didn't hold back either. His words carried weight because they weren't just about scandal, they were about safety. McGirt
take stuff like that. I think it's, I just think it's really messed up that, and I think that if someone will encourage a fighter to do that, I think they should be banned as well as the fighter. You know what I mean? Why would you encourage someone to, how I see it is this, you're doing something like that, somebody can get seriously hurt.
Called it an outright disgrace that anyone would encourage a fighter to take part in something staged. For him, this wasn't simply about entertainment versus sport. It was about the danger of men putting their lives on the line inside the ropes while others allegedly treated the event like scripted theater. His warning was blunt. Staged fights don't just fool audiences, they put fighters' lives at risk. That's why his voice rang so loudly through the chaos. Boxing should always be real combat, not circus drama. And if even a fraction of the script leak was true, then it was a stain on the sport. Frank Warren, on the other hand, tried to pour cold water on the scandal. He dismissed the script leak as absolute lies, calling it nothing more than social media manipulation. He accused people of trying to con the public into believing something that was...
Because they're conning the public. They're making something, making up something. So then we put the fight out the
wasn't real. But here's the problem Warren couldn't shake: the timing. The script hit Twitter just after Dillian Whyte was stopped in the first round, exactly as the script predicted. That coincidence was too perfect. Some fans wanted to believe Warren, but many more felt betrayed, convinced this was no accident. For them, boxing had been mocked in front of the world. A heavyweight clash that should have been about pride, legacy, and skill instead played out like a stage play. Warren may have tried to defend the sport's honor, but the seed of doubt had already been planted. And once trust in boxing's authenticity is broken, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. Tony Jeffries only added fuel to the fire. The former Olympic medalist admitted he wasn't surprised by the outcome at all. In fact, he argued that even before the script leak, the fight felt predictable. Everyone could see Dillian folding in round one. It was inevitable.
Stop right there. Even before I seen this script, that's exactly what was going to happen. Like, what else?
Inevitable, he said. That's why the leaked script hit fans so hard. It didn't shock them, it confirmed their suspicions. Jeffries cut to the core of fan frustration. People tuned in to see a real heavyweight battle. They wanted to watch Moses Itauma prove his rising star power against a hardened veteran. Instead, they watched Whyte crumble almost instantly, in a way that looked rehearsed, like it had been mapped out from the start. Boxing thrives on drama, yes. But the drama must come from inside the ring, from the grit, sweat, and unpredictability of the fighters themselves, not from a Twitter leak that appears to reveal the outcome in advance. Eddie Hearn eventually addressed the fight from another angle, and this time his brutal honesty cut just as deep. He said plainly, Dillian Whyte is finished. For years, Whyte had been known as—
You want to see Dillian carry on?
No, definitely not.
Not got a future with any other heavyweight?
No, but you could see the shots, you know. I mean, Dillian's renowned for his toughness. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I think he was, you know, those shots were cupping shots, but you could tell I think his punch resistance gone, and I think that'll be the end for him now.
One of the division's toughest men, someone with granite punch resistance. But Hearn admitted the obvious: Whyte's durability is gone, and when a fighter collapses in the very first round, then a script surfaces predicting exactly that. It's impossible for fans not to connect the dots. Instead of Moses Itauma's rise being the story, the focus shifted to whether the fight was staged. Did Whyte's career end in humiliation naturally, or was it scripted humiliation for one last payday? Dean Whyte tried to defend his brother, claiming injuries and an early shot played a role, but fans weren't convinced. The leaked script had already mapped out this exact scenario: Dillian going down early. Dean's explanation, instead of clearing things up, felt more like damage control, and fans weren't buying it. They remembered Dillian Whyte as the man who—
But I think everyone's talking about, you know, Dillian having an injury, and I think Dave probably got wind of that and thought that we're just going to press early and see what we're given. And, you know, he was caught quite early on the back of the head and on the side. And
survived wars in the ring, a fighter who took bombs from giants and kept swinging. To see him collapse in one round with excuses about injuries only fueled the anger. Was this boxing or theater dressed up as boxing? Duke McKenzie went further than anyone, saying outright that Dillian Whyte cashed out. To him, the whole thing stank of money. Fans already believed the fight was scripted, and the script leak was the nail in the coffin. If McKenzie is right, then this wasn't a heavyweight clash at all. It was a payday fix. For McKenzie, that was the ultimate disgrace. A fighter with years of battles behind him, handing over his legacy in a scripted collapse wasn't just disappointing, it was shameful. Moses Itauma may still be the future of the heavyweight division, but instead of testing him properly, Whyte allegedly—
You look at your career at the end of your career, you look at your bank balance and say to yourself, you know what, it was worth it. Dillian Whyte can look at his bank balance and say, last night's fight was worth it. Did he do it for the money? He probably did. You know, Moses Itauma is a huge name, and it would have been a massive scalp to have had, but it was never going to be the case.
handed him a shortcut victory, and that is why the storm refuses to die down. A first-round knockout followed by a conveniently leaked script left fans convinced the fight was a betrayal to everything boxing stands for. If Moses Itauma truly won clean, then his rise continues, and he cements himself as one of the sport's brightest young stars. But if the whispers are true, if this was staged, then boxing risks losing the very credibility that makes it unique among sports. As for Dillian Whyte, questions over whether he sold out for one last payday now hang heavier than any punch he's ever taken. The man once known as the body snatcher is now accused of snatching at money instead of fighting for pride. Boxing is built on honor, on warriors who bleed for glory inside the ropes. Right now, that honor feels stained. Fans are left with one haunting question: was this a genuine fight or the ugliest fix in heavyweight history?